Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Eljay Johnsen Show. This show airs every single weekend, every Saturday at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, unless specified otherwise, over on Twitter at the Eljay Johnsen, where we have updates and guest announcements every single Tuesday. And if you have any questions over the week, make sure to head over to my email, eljayjohnson@gmail.com, where you can send in any question for myself or the upcoming guest. Okay. That should be everything, so let's go ahead and get right into the episode today. So I'm quite excited for my next guest. Obviously, I've known her for quite a while, and she is a host on the TTV channel for the TTV Podcast. She is also an artist, storyteller, and fanatic of the edgiest of edgy subjects. I'm, of course, talking about none other than Phweffie. How you doing today?
Hiya, I'm doing very well, thank you. How about you?
Good. I did that all in one breath, so...
Oh, take a deep breath then.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So,
I'm doing that myself because I've never been on a live broadcast with just two people. There's always been a group setting for me.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nerve-wracking.
yeah, trust me, I felt that way when I first started the show, because obviously up until starting the show, well, I didn't need to worry about that. I've always been in kind of a group atmosphere, and then, hold a conversation, good luck.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the podcast, like, we talk to each other like that behind the scenes, too. So it's literally just a recorded version of our normal conversations.
Essentially.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course it works out, so. But yeah, no, so how have you been? How you doing?
Aside from being nervous, pretty good, actually. I'm really excited, getting hyped for BlizzCon. Which is coming up soon. I haven't got a strong estimation, just like a couple days. I assume just a week or so until BlizzCon. I don't actually know when it is.
Let me see. BlizzCon 2018. So this one is going to be... Come on, show me the time. I got the website up. It says BlizzCon, and then it just says nothing more.
Oh, that's great.
Epic in-game loot. Okay, cool.
BlizzCon!
Yeah,
Get your loot here. When is it? Get your loot here.
Well, when do I get the loot? Here.
Here. When? Just here.
Gosh, it is not showing me a time for BlizzCon 2018.
Well, I was playing a bit of Overwatch earlier, and there was a BlizzCon icon that they've added to the battle.net or the Blizzard app. I don't know what it's called at this point. And it said that it was live, so maybe it's I know it's not properly started yet, but I think there's a few live streams going on for StarCraft.
Okay, here we go. It takes place on November 2nd and 3rd. So, next week.
It's very close. It's very close. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you excited?
I'm looking forward to it, moderately, obviously enough. I mean, I only have one vested interest in anything Blizzard, and of course that's Overwatch, but...
Oh, I mean, same, but...
But yeah. No, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got in store, because circulation is flowing that we're going to get a McCree cinematic or...
The hype trains and the theories are just coming out the wazoo at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just every day I open a social media, I find something new that people have found or have kind of theorized, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
And before we're all disappointed, I really hope that we're not, but just gotta think that it might happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible. I know a lot of people are super excited for that event in South Korea that they held, and everyone got super hyped and then got super let down. So
was that for the Diva short?
Yeah, basically.
See, I still really like it. I feel like it didn't add anything new, but then again, neither did the May one, but it was still good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people right now just really want lore. People are just desperate for lore, and I realized this because I went to go look at the comics that they've released on the website, and they haven't released a comic since April.
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost half a year like without comics or any form of like lore, because Retribution came out like with it. It was a Retribution comic.
Yeah.
So I understand like the frustration, because I'm one of those people that's like, so what's going on in the story? And people are like, well, you know, people just doing nothing. I'm like, cool. When?
Yeah.
When are they gonna start doing things?
Yeah.
We've been waiting 2 years for like the recall started 2 years ago, and it's still going.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect a whole story to come out in like a year, because knowing Blizzard, they do stuff really like, they're kind of a slow burn when it comes to story. Like World of Warcraft, I don't know everything about it, but I know that the story's been going on for like at least a decade, if not longer than that. So it's like you have to like kind of think about, you know, the way Blizzard does stuff. And if they are going to have Overwatch to stay, then they are going to like do that slow burn thing.
Of course.
It's gonna kill me.
Yeah,
it's gonna kill me, LJ.
It's really, it's awfully peculiar, especially for folks like us who are heavily invested in almost a steady stream of content throughout a year, any given year, because obviously enough, we're fans of Lego Bionicle, and that was a consistent release, a meal release of information and story and new stuff coming out throughout the year. So going into something like Overwatch, where it's so sparse, is a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah. You know, when you like, whenever I talk to people about something like Bionicle, it's always really interesting, because most of them don't know how much lore there actually is to the story. So they're like, oh, I used to collect those as a kid. And I'm like, same. But then I got invested in the story, and the story still, like, I still hold it really close to my heart, even to this day, because it's just got so much to it. There's so much, like, especially in the time period that I, like, got invested in it. I got invested in it in 2006, because my aunt knew I was a fan of Bionicle, and I said, can you buy me the new Bionicle Heroes game? Because I loved Bionicle and I loved video games. So I was like, oh, can you buy me Bionicle Heroes for my 7th birthday? And she was like, sure. And she also bought me this book, and I ignored the book, like, firstly, and played the game. I finished the game in, like, the first day, but I didn't fully complete it. Like, I just kind of did a run-through of it, you know? Like, got through all the bosses and that.
Oh, yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I did that in, like, the first day. So then I was like, oh, I'm all, like, burnt out. I don't know what to do, like, with this game now. Like, other than 100% it. And so I picked up the book, and I started to read the book. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really that invested in it at first, because at this point, I already knew that, like, that the heroes were going to come and like defeat the villains. So I was like, there's no point me like caring about these villains. But then I ended up caring about the villains, and I was like, I don't want to read the rest of this, because like I know that the villains are just going to get beaten, and I'm just like, oh, but I don't want that. But at the same time, they're evil, and it's like
they kind of have to be
feel.
beaten.
Yeah, well, it does happen eventually, but
yeah.
Well, I remember the fight. It's pretty crazy. It felt like the book had been like catered to my emotions, because when I first Island of Doom, when I first was introduced to Bionicle, I was a massive fan of Tahu. Like Tahu was like my favorite character, and then when I watched Bionicle the movie, I like kind of didn't like him anymore. I thought he was kind of a jerk and a moron in that story. Obviously, like, because of the whole turning evil thing and being too cocky, like, I was kind of like, But then I read the book and was like, oh man, Zaktan's so cool. He's so scary. And, like, you know, just had, like, this kind of, like, oh, he's such a freak. And, like, you felt sort of sorry for him. Or at least I did anyway. I was like, I feel really sorry for the guy. He's just kind of weird. It's just really, everybody thinks he's a freak, and that's why everyone's afraid of him.
Oh my gosh.
So,
there might be some other reasons, you know, like the killing of people.
But then it's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, and he's, you know, genuinely threatening. Like, he threatens, like, you know, the other Paraka, and, like, you feel, like, that fear, but then that sort of, like, also hatred for him at the same time. There's always that, like, backstabbing thing with the Paraka. But then, they end up fighting at the end, and it's just like this feels like it was just made for me. Like it was one of those things. I know, obviously, it was just luck, but it was so. I remember when I was reading it, my little brother had just been born, and my mum was going baby shopping, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay in the car with my dad because baby shopping's boring. So I sat in the car reading it, and I just remember just being so invested in this book, like reading in the back, and I was like, just gasping. And my dad would turn around and be like, he knows a little bit about Bionicles, but he's kind of like, he's like, what are you reading? I'm like, one of these characters has just been defeated. And I'm like so shook. And he's just like, oh, okay. Ever since then, I was like, oh man, that's so cool. And that's when I was like fully invested in like 06 and everything. Like, it kind of dropped off like quite quickly after that. But then obviously I joined TTV and I like learned way more about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew Bionicle had the potential to be like a really good like story, and there was so much more to it. It's just I wasn't interested in it as much after that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with like the thematical things, because like I was kind of quite judgy because of it. Like I liked Mari Nui. I wanted to buy all the Baraki because I thought they were really cool. And then after that I noticed that now they're doing the air thing, and now they're just on the water thing, and now it's just like I really like I'd actually you'll never guess what set my dad bought from the Fantoka.
Oh gosh, from the Fantoka?
Someone beginning with S and ending with K.
Solek. Oh my gosh! Oh no! You come onto this show, you spoil the good times. Gosh.
My dad bought me Solek.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah. Just, Bionicle is great. I still need to read a lot of the lore in regards to it. Because now I'm teaching all my friends the lore of Bionicle.
Oh my gosh.
My friends from university, I'm telling them all about Bionicle. I've become the Vakama. Which is the time before time. In my childhood, there was an amazing toy line called Bionicle.
Are any of them, like, somewhat interested? Do they go, oh yeah, do tell me more?
One of them actually knows about the lore, but not as much as me. Like, he's like, you know so much about the lore. I'm like, you think I know a lot about the lore? I know nothing in comparison to some people. So, yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yep, yeah, no, that is true. So this is kind of how you got... Oh, you go ahead, continue.
Yeah, if you ever, like, have any questions about lore, this guy knows, like, everything.
This is correct. Unless I forget it. In that case, that's going to be an awkward scenario. But yeah,
we'll ask Greg. That always works out.
Exactly. No, and he is still active on the TTV message board, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Oh, seriously? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't been on the message boards for like a year now.
Yeah, I noticed.
I noticed your last post was like in November last year.
Yeah, not all of the TTV cast members are on the TTV message boards, and it's just, you could be on the TTV message boards. But yeah, now, so this is kind of how you got introduced to, I figure, storytelling and stories and the different layers and complexity of villains and so on and so forth. And I figure that's kind of a good way to segue into how you ended up getting into how TTV met you, interest-wise, into Lego and Bionicle and the community. So go ahead and take us a little bit around what you just said and how you got into Bionicle specifically, and then through that, the community, and eventually here.
Okay, so Bionicle itself goes way back to when I was like 5 years old. So when I was a kid, I really enjoyed like boys' toys. I really enjoyed like robots, monsters, action men, that type of stuff. I really enjoyed that. I found it way more interesting than anything that, I don't know, girls' toys could Yeah, apart from Polly Pocket, they were really fun, and Littlest Pet Shop. I always enjoyed those things. But I remember seeing an ad for the Bionicle movie. It was like a Burger King like advertisement, like for the toys, I guess. Like, and they were showing like clips of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, this is so cool. He's surfing on lava. That's so cool. And just like, I remember just whenever I get excited as a kid, I'd just jump on furniture and just be like, oh my god. Yeah, it was like crazy. And I used to just like jump off of the sofa and get really excited and stuff. I must have been a really, really annoying kid. I used to break stuff all the time, but anyways, I just got really interested in it, so I decided to search it up. And I remember for the longest time I didn't know how to spell it, so I always used to like, you know, make up a kind of a tune in my head of how to spell it, and that's how I was able to find out more about it. And this was back in the time where you had family computers in the lounge.
Ah, yes.
So yes, and it takes about 5 minutes for the internet to open. So,
ah, yes.
and you couldn't use the internet while someone was on the phone.
Goodness, I can only imagine some people listening might not be familiar with that at all.
Yeah. So I searched it up, and I was like, I need this in my life. Like, it was something that just I was so fond of. Like, the imagery that I saw was so cool. And that Christmas I was really lucky because I got one of these little presents, and it kind of felt like what I wanted. Like, it was like, is this a set? And I shook it, and I heard all the little pieces inside, and I was like, oh, it is. And I opened it, and it was Matau.
Matau.
Yeah. And I think I also got somebody else. I think it was a Vaki. It was the green Vaki as well. I did get Wanua like on my birthday, which is basically Christmas. It's like a week after Christmas. Before I know it, I had 3 sets, and I just spent my whole life playing with Bionicles and just quest for the masks and stuff like that. That's how I got into Bionicle. And then when I got out of Bionicle, I kind of stopped paying attention to it for a long time, especially after the Agori. I was like, why would they start like a new world like so far into the story? That really kind of put me off a lot. And I was just kind of like, no, I'm just not interested anymore. So then I completely lost interest in it. You know, Hero Factory came along. My brother got into Hero Factory. My little brother got into Hero Factory a little bit. And I was like, still not as good as Bionicle. Bionicle was the best. You'll never understand.
And even though it says on the box from the creators of Bionicle, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah, no, I remember those times. Dark and trying times. So,
yeah.
So based from that, you got into Bionicle, you got invested, you got out of it. How did I
get back in?
How did you get sucked back in?
I was just about to get into it before rambling off about my childhood life, you know. I remembered it one day. I was, you know, just having a conversation with someone. Now, like, do you remember that toy line, like Bionicle? I was like, mate, I was like a massive fan of Bionicle. Like, so that night I went back on, you know, it was still a family laptop, but it actually took like less than 5 minutes to open the internet. And I searched up Bionicle, and I think the website was still open then, but it was like still from like the end of Bionicle. So well, I think that's when I found out Bionicle ended, which was like, well, doesn't surprise me. Like, it has been a long time.
Yeah.
And plus Hero Factory. And then I ended up finding the BZ Power Forms, and for the longest time I didn't sign up to them. I just like read them just without an account. Or I did eventually make an account, and I just never posted. I think even to this day I posted like one thing, and it was part of like a role play thing, which I wasn't very good at. But yeah, and then I was looking for and that's it. The forms went down. The infamous like time where they went down for like months. And
the BZ Power?
Yeah, when it got like put down for a little bit, and like I was trying to look for new places to go for my Bionicle needs. So I was like, oh, where do I go? So I went on YouTube, and not only did I found the Custom Bionicle podcast or Custom Bionicle wiki YouTube, and I also found the TTV podcast. It took me a while to find you guys though, because I didn't know what podcasts were. So I started listening, and I like listened to all like a lot. Like there was a lot of episodes I needed to get through, and there was so many like that made me laugh a lot. Like Shooting Up Speedos was one of my favorites, and stuff like that. Like your Chima like reviews. I don't even know if Chima was out. Yeah, I think it was, because like, it was quite a while after.
Yeah, around the time you showed up, that was about Chima's time.
Yeah, and then I obviously saw the video about the casting call, and I remember those days so clearly as well, because I was like, is this even a good idea? Like, would I even like be accepted into something like this? It's so weird. Is this what I actually want to do? And I actually had to dupe myself by forcefully pressing the send button and being like, oh no, I can't undo it. It's too late. I can't go back. It's too late now. There's nothing you can do. You have to either go with it or accept the rejection. You have to do it. I'm so glad that I did that earlier on, because if I sent the message that I sent to you guys now, you'd probably set it as spam.
it is very awful. Possible. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's quite...
guys, my time zone is England.
It's amazing, because I remember we made the video, and you were in contention to be hired with somebody else. I say hire very loosely, brought into the group.
It's kind of like a trial thing.
Yeah, and so you were vying for it with somebody else, and that person said, okay, I am really free, no real time constraints, nothing really going on, everything's all fine, and I'm also in the States. And they're like, wow, that's solid. And then it was you.
My time zone is England.
My time zone is England, and I've got school, and I might not be around very often. Okay, great. Well,
that's exactly how I talked back then.
Well, yep, 1-to-1, and we were like, well, okay.
I also said, "Hi, nice to meet you," with like a U, like the letter U. Hi, nice to meet you. Smiley face. My time zone is England.
Gosh. And so we had both of you around, and the person who said they'd be super free wasn't. And they were also super controversial. And then there's you, and you were around almost all the time, and you really were super enthusiastic about Bionicle. You really liked the Paraka, and it was great, and things went from there.
Wow, would have never guessed that one.
Yeah,
she's a fan of the Paraka. Wow, I'm surprised.
I'm just saying, the Baraki, though. Mesa and I obviously have done...
Baraki are also really cool.
Oh, gosh.
The designs for the Baraki, I will admit, are, like, overall better than Parakas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I like them. I think they're... I'm quite partial to sea creatures and plant sea life, so it's really
and
cool.
And they did a good job of making them look like... Well, at least with Elec, anyway, and Kapai, he kind of looks like a crab.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think I also like... I like Takedox as well. Takedox.
Oh yeah, Takedox is he kind of looks more like a praying mantis though, because of the arms.
Oh yeah, but I also love praying mantises, so that basically works perfectly for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, so you ended up becoming a host on the TTV Podcast, talking about Bionicle, obviously to this very day, of course. And go ahead and explain kind of what that was like, being thrust so heavily into the Bionicle community just such a short time after getting back into it.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I never felt like I was thrusted into the community. I never felt like I was like thrown in the deep end. I felt like I'd been put on a boat on the ocean of the Bionicle community, just kind of skimming the top of like what the actual community was like. And throughout my entire career here, or career in quotes, it's not like a viable thing. Oh, I what's your career? I'm a podcaster on a YouTube channel, but yeah, it was so interesting because like obviously I had no like doorways into the community. And I had no idea what like if people even still were fans of it really, because the BZ power forms were down and I didn't really have social media back then, so it was like, is everybody gone?
Yeah.
I mean, fair play, because like Bionicle's dead, but like I still like Bionicle. I wish I don't want to be alone. So it was so cool, like seeing that people were still really passionate, and even to this day, it brings me such hope and love that like people still love and have passion and take that and like make it into their own stuff. That's what I like to see. That's what gives me life. Like
Yeah.
it's such a good thing to see.
And despite how niche it is obviously still quite active. It's awfully active, and you have a bunch of creation for art and mocking, which I guess is a form of art, and discussion, and a whole ton of stuff, and it is really active. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know if we'd still be here if, and that's with a lot of people. I don't know if they'd still be here if there wasn't such an active community.
Yeah, no, exactly. So from getting into Bionicle, obviously enough, TTV Podcast goes on from then, which is I think 2014-ish, 2013, 2014, and continues on obviously to now. We've had another Bionicle since then, and the big thing at the moment, obviously enough, for a lot of the members in TTV is the video game Overwatch. And we talked about this very early on, obviously enough. Overwatch, huge game, first-person shooter, ton of fun to play. Go ahead
Indeed.
and talk a little bit about getting into that, getting into the game, and then getting into the piecemealed story.
You know what? I don't actually remember how I really got into it. I think it was because of the animated shorts. I think that's the story with most people.
Yeah.
Like you saw the animated shorts, thought, "Hey, this looks like Pixar and Disney, but for Blizzard," and just was immediately in love with it. But I do remember seeing like, Warlords of Draenor and like seeing like World of Warcraft cinematics and being like, wow, that is incredible. That's better than like most movies, like CGI and stuff like that. Like, it's incredible. They've always had a really good like ability to make animated things. Blizzard has. So people were like, "Oh, Blizzard made this new like Disney like type thing," and I was like, "Oh, awesome!" So I already knew about World of Warcraft, so I was like, "Oh, nice! I'll check this out." I watched it and I loved it. Like it made me laugh. Like it definitely did give that like vibe of like Disney and Pixar, because it's very similar style. It's like that cartoony, like kind of very bright, and,
exaggerated human.
optimistic. Yeah, and it's got that type of thing to it, and it's got talking animals, like
Wait, what?
Winston.
Oh, okay. I was awfully confused. Like, talking animals? What are you talking about?
And before Hero 29 is another talking animal.
Oh my gosh. Is it already Hero 29? Is that what we're getting?
Yeah, Hero 29.
Goodness.
So, yeah, I watched the short, loved the short. More shorts came out, and I loved it even more. I don't know how exactly I got into the lore. I think I just started watching videos like Hammy and things like that, just like hearing the voice lines. And then I kind of started digging on like certain characters like Soldier 76, Reaper, Ana. When Ana came out, I still like, I think Ana's probably like one of my favorite characters lore wise because of her like her conflict that she has. And Doomfist too, but he's kind of like, in comparison to the game's lifespan, he's like a new addition to that whole thing. So I think I still don't know when exactly I got into the lore, but I think a lot of the fan interaction, all the fan theories, and just like other fans talking about what they think might be the story, kind of like got me thinking about where the story was going, especially with the OG crew. That's what I call them, like the original Overwatch team, with like the six members or five, depending on whether like that sixth member is actually canon or not still. Uh, and also First Strike, that was like the other thing that was supposed to come out. It was a graphic novel that was supposed to come out last year, actually, around this time.
Oh no.
And like literally 2 days before it was supposed to release, they released an article saying that it was cancelled and like it had just been scrapped completely. Because the story had changed. Like there was some tonal shifts or something that they were going to do, which I think most people assume is that they were going to make Reaper's character, like Gabriel Reyes, like evil, and they were going to make Soldier 76's Jack Morrison's character good, and it was going to be really black and white. But then they saw like the fans really loved Reaper and were like, oh, I don't know now.
Yeah, they ended up going the more ambiguous, morally gray option.
They were supposed to they'd written him like a really jealous, bitter character that just like was just really petty, and the reasons why he turned evil were really petty. And then like people actually liked him, and they were like, "Oh no,
wait, no, that wasn't supposed to happen."
Wait, this wasn't supposed to happen. At least that's kind of like a theory that a lot of people have, is that they were gonna have this really black and white story of a like, you know, one good, one evil, and then everybody else just existing, mostly good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of like just was dragged along by the tide of like fan discussions and stuff. So
yeah, and then of course, obviously enough, TTV got pretty heavily into it. We still play it, and it's fun. Honestly, it's absolutely a blast.
Absolutely, with a team it is fun. Like,
oh, yeah.
I wouldn't recommend like going and playing by yourself. I mean, you still have fun.
Yeah.
But playing with people that you have good communication with, and you just have a blast. It's such a good time.
Yeah.
Having that teamwork, and like when you have that extra level of communication, and you pull something amazing off. Like, for example, I mean, it wasn't an example of good communication, but it was still really funny. On my Twitter, there's a video of me getting play of the game as Tracer in a 3v3, and I threw my pulse bomb at a Roadhog, and Eljay as Reinhardt charged the Roadhog into the other two enemies and killed all three of them.
I remember that. That was so
I
brilliant.
Literally screamed. I didn't mean to do that.
I remember we were so stoked because it was complete happenstance, because it happens.
It was complete like luck and chance.
Yeah,
and timing.
You chucked it, and I was already mid-charge, and it's awesome. Gosh.
You just delivered them the bomb. So
Reinhardt, what are you doing on that enemy ship? I'm giving them back their bomb. Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, that was just epic.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff like that happens. Like, it's always awfully enjoyable for someone like me, Reinhardt, to hammer down and then coordinate it with someone like Purple's Junkrat or Pharah, or Envy and Orkini's Reaper.
Tornado of Smash.
Heck yeah, Tornado of Smash, hammer down.
Tornado of Smash.
Death
Route
Blossom.
66, we'll never forget.
It's so good. But obviously enough, I am also a fan of Overwatch's story aspect. What's your favorite animated?
Someone else is.
What's your favorite animated short?
Gosh. I don't remember how many there are now. I think probably Reinhardt.
There we go. Yep. Honor and Glory.
I think it's up there with like, I really like Hero. People forget about Hero. I liked Hero. I understand why people are like meh about it, but
yeah.
I also like, you know, the original one that came out. I haven't watched Alive in a long time, but just watching the fight scene and like one of the backgrounds of a YouTube video, I was like really like, wow, this is still holding up really well even to this day.
Yeah.
I'm really like impressed with the choreography of that. But all
Mm-hmm.
of them are really good. It's I probably think that my least favorite is the Diva one, because like just nothing happens in it. Like
I
we stuff does happen, but it's just like it's nothing big. Like
yeah.
it's just I really liked the end bit. Like if you're kind of like if you're watching the short, and you realize that when you, at the end of the short, Diva's like, you know, broken her arms and her legs, and you know,
Yeah, she's just
with her
working on the
friend,
mech.
and yeah, she's working on the mech, and in the background you just hear like the media go, "Oh, she escaped without a scratch," and then you think to like 30 seconds before where they were just resuscitating her on a table.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, that was definitely just a scratch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, well, what did you think about the short? And they were like, I wanted to see the battle. I wanted to
Yeah.
see the mech battle, the
Mm-hmm.
one that she had like a flashback for, and I was like, you know what? I don't blame you. I really don't blame you.
Yeah.
Not to say like the battle in that short was bad, but like they teased us and then they gave us something smaller, which I still really enjoyed. I love the design of the robots,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I get what they mean. I get what they mean.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I ended up enjoying, after some thought, moderately, I enjoyed Divas a bit more than May's. But that's also simply because I look for
Yeah,
the action.
I get that too. Like, I think the reason why I hold the May one over the Diva one is because of the one scene where like she like gets to the top of the radio tower and she's looking out on the Aurora Borealis, and like Winston's like doing the recall in the background, and that beautiful soundtrack just like filters through, and just like, and before I knew it, onions were under my face
Yeah, it's
and
very
I was
atmospheric.
crying. Yeah,
It's
it was beautiful.
yeah. But then, of course, I mean, yeah,
So
honor and glory. You know, it's
yeah,
just
that was also
oh
beautiful
gosh,
as well.
dual rocket hammers, and that's all I can say.
Rest in peace, Balderish, and his beautifully conditioned mustache.
How did he keep
Have
it
you
so
seen
well?
it? It's
Yeah,
so silky.
but he somehow manages to keep like retain it with that helmet he puts over his head.
I know.
Like Reinhardt, he is like, I love the wind in my hair, and he doesn't even bother with a helmet until later.
Oh, Ryan is right. Young Reinhardt, he's just beautiful.
He's absolutely hysterical. It's
Even though
such a good
people are
show.
like, he looks like Shrek and Prince Charming's love child, I'm like, he still's beautiful.
he does seem a little Shrek-like
He
in
does.
some
It's
shots.
the jaw. He's got a really big jaw. Like,
Yeah.
he's got a very square face.
Yeah, that's true. But now, obviously enough, your interests have kind of intersected now. We have
Yes.
Lego with Bionicle, and then we have Overwatch on its own, and now they've crossed over. We've crossed the streams, and now we have Lego Overwatch.
Yeah.
And you have an interesting perspective on this that I haven't heard anyone else voice yet, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to
Really?
disclose. This is almost a hot take. Go ahead, Phweffie. You can do it.
Oh, you like cut out.
Oh, that's weird. Dang. But your opinions on Lego Overwatch. You have some almost hot take levels.
Okay. Yeah. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of underwhelmed when I first saw them. I don't know what I was expecting, really. Like, I don't know. I was thinking about the minifigs. That's all I was thinking about. I was like, minifigs, because I love, you know, I love collecting things.
Yeah.
I've got 3 Pop Funkos staring at me right now, like from Overwatch. The only reason I have them is Overwatch, and my love for collecting things, you know, it just comes together like that. So when I first saw them, I was like, oh, what's going on with the guns?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with that? But then over time, like, I looked at them more and was like, maybe I'm just being a little bit tad negative about it. I'm actually, I think out of all of them, I'd probably buy the Dorado one because it's got my 3 favorite characters in there.
See,
It's got good old McDonald, Soldier 76, and Reaper.
Yeah, that's actually what I used for the thumbnail because I
Oh,
ended up,
really?
yeah, I found the picture of that set and I looked at it and I said, this sums up Phweffie in an Overwatch picture if I've ever seen one. I'm gonna use this. The only other one I would
love the
imagine would be
meme.
just Talon.
Yeah, I love the meme with a soldier in the car. He's like, "Get in, loser. We're going shopping."
Well, in that case, let's go ahead and go down the list here. And we don't obviously have to spend a whole lot of time on every individual one, so because
It's okay. I think all of them have like nice things to say about them.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll start off with this one. This one I've linked it in the chat here. This is
Nice. Okay,
Tracer versus Widowmaker, of course. And yeah, just go ahead and give however many thoughts you'd like.
I really like the minifig. I do think the minifig are really good. Like they're just how like I'd imagine them to be for minifigs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really, again, like Tracer's guns look a bit weird. I don't mind Widowmaker's as much because it does look like a sniper, and Tracer's.
No, continue, please.
So at least it does look like a sniper. You can recognize it with the scope, but yeah, Tracers aren't as like great in my opinion. But they're still recognizable like pistols. Just they're a bit big. I think that's the main issue. Is that obviously the Lego pieces, like the proportions of the pieces, like make the guns look really big.
Mm-hmm.
The payload, it's okay. Like it's what it is in Gibraltar, I believe. It is Gibraltar, or
Yeah, no, this is
I
Gibraltar.
don't know what payload is. Okay, it is. Yeah, so it looks like the payload, and I don't really have anything much else to say about it, really. Just,
Okay.
It looks what it's supposed to be.
Fair enough. I remember you were hoping at the very least they would make a payload set. So, do you think that this is something?
Yeah. I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
Fair enough. Let's just.
I do prefer the Dorado payload simply because you can. I don't know. You can just sit more people on it. I can imagine it probably be more difficult trying to sit everyone on that payload.
Yeah, no, because it's also using a lot of SNOT techniques, and SNOT, for anyone unaware, is a LEGO community acronym for studs not on top, and it usually refers to a technique where you do not have a lot of visible studs. And so I can imagine there is less space, especially on that payload, for people to be sitting on it.
Yeah. I can always imagine it being more used as a flying shuttle. I mean, it is a shuttle.
Yes.
And therefore, like, I feel like most people would just use it as, like, I've seen Tracer sat in it, so you could just imagine it being, like, the slipstream thing that she flies in. So, yeah, I think, you can use it. I would prefer to use it for that type of purpose than an actual payload, because it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't, aside from knowing the context of it being a payload, I wouldn't use it as a payload.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. In the live chat here, T. Lee Khan has said, this set shows that no one at LEGO has played the game. There's no way a Widow and Tracer would be that close to the payload. And I would actually, I would totally agree with you if it weren't for a Reddit comment by one of the set designers, a gentleman by the name of Mark Stafford, who actually addressed this on Reddit. And he said that they went ahead, they put Widowmaker and Tracer on the payload and made those the minifigures, so that way the mains of those two respective characters would know what a payload looks like. And it was amazing.
That is beautiful.
I mean, he's making a joke, but it's so great. I love it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, if you're not a tank or a healer, who knows what a payload is? I'm sure.
Yeah, most games I end up finding myself with gold in objective time.
Objective time.
And easily.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, unless there's anything else you'd like to say on this.
That's it, really. Like, I mean, it's not much to discuss. It's just a vehicle and two minifigs. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Oh, I love this one.
So, next one, is it Hanzo versus Genji? Yes, okay, it is.
I love this one.
Go ahead and elaborate.
I love the setting for this one. Like, I know exactly where this is. Like, obviously, it's pretty easy to tell because the actual place where this is set is good design, like the scroll and everything, and then Lego's just kind of carried that out. Hanamura Point B. One of the most difficult ones to get, but
yeah,
depending on how good the defense is. But yeah, I think Genji's head's a bit too big. It kind of looks a bit weird, and also his like body. I know what it's supposed to be, like the like
burnt
kind of
orange.
orangey. Yeah, I know what it's supposed to be, but it looks like he's got sleeves.
Yeah, and like, that's especially apparent without arm printing.
Yeah. So I still think the minifigs are really good, but that was a bit strange when I first saw it. I was like, hold on, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I see. I love that guy from Hanamura.
the random fellow in the suit.
Also confirmed healing packs. So whenever Genji's like, I need healing, and I'm unavailable, I'll just point him to the healing pack.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I love that they included that in this set.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is lovely.
I will say, I do find it interesting how Hanzo kind of inadvertently got visually nerfed. So, first of all, he doesn't have his arm tattoos, which...
Yeah, he doesn't. I just saw that.
Yeah, those are completely void. And on his left pec, it is completely blank.
He does not have a nip.
Nope, not at all. And I figured that is a stylistic decision. Because, obviously, it's Hanzo, and, that's kind of part of his design, but it's also Lego, and that's not going to fly. So, not a big deal.
Yeah,
I find it amusing.
They don't have noses.
Exactly, yeah, or ears.
Yeah, or ears.
Yeah. But
yeah, I understand the nipple part, but the tattoo also as well, because like if you think how small a minifig arm is, like I think it'd be difficult to like do that much detailing in that amount of small space.
I think that Lego has been awfully proficient with small amounts of detail on minifigure limbs and torsos. I think they get away with it. I don't actually think that this was a conscious decision because they have had Ninjago characters with tattoos. So hopefully later on we will get an updated minifigure that has the better detailing. But for now, it is what it is.
Yeah. I love this set as well. I wouldn't know where to put it though because my room is quite small. But I do love the guy and his phone, and like that bit it just gives me good laughs from the short, and just the set overall translates pretty well. You know exactly where it is.
Yeah,
Hanamura.
Yeah.
And the context of why Hanzo and Genji is there, so you can say that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do hope that they do add like I'm not sure if they're gonna do this or not, but it'd be pretty like interesting if they did. But different skin minifigs like
casual
like
skin
Hanzo.
packs.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah, no,
that'd be
happy.
a good way because like loads of people love like the alternative skins like casual Hanzo and would buy like cake store with Hanzo.
Yeah.
Casual Hanzo.
Hanzo in his natural habitat.
But, yeah, so that'd be a good opportunity to make more sets having alternative skins.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see that.
Junkenstein, for example.
Yeah, but that would require having Junkrat in it, and I don't think we need that. I've got a vendetta against Junkrat.
I feel your pain, but then again, I play Junkrat sometimes, so it's a bit hypocritical of me
Yeah,
to say
that's fair.
he's a monster.
Yeah.
Good old Dorado.
Yes, so this is obviously the next one. It's oh goodness, what's the name of the set? It's Dorado Showdown. There we go. And obviously enough, take it away. Go ahead and explain your thoughts on this one.
Okay, well, first of all, I really like Soldier's minifig. I think it's probably my favorite minifig out of like the three there. I haven't seen the Reaper one close up, but so far he's looking pretty good as well. Apart from the guns, like again, like there's not enough detailing on them, but you can't really do much about that really. McCree, it's hair. He doesn't have any.
Yeah, not when he has his hat.
Thing. Yeah, like the hat. Obviously, they can't implement hair on the hat. So there's been so many jokes about it. Just get me. Like, what if like McCree just takes his hat off and a short or something? He's actually got a big bald patch. Like he's got one of those monk haircut.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I this is probably my favorite payload. I don't know if there's another there is there's another one with a payload. I think this one's my favorite because of I like the whole truck thing, because then you can like implement it into different things. Like for example, in game you can't actually drive the payload because that would make the game way too easy. But you just had to sit Soldier in there and get all sorts of like hilarious situations out of that. I do like the little bridge bit as well. I don't know if it's just that bit or if there's a little platform on the top of that. I don't know if you'd be able to know.
It's a couple of bricks thick.
Oh, okay.
Or at least it's a couple of studs thick at the very least. So I imagine you would be able to stand someone in that walkway.
Yeah, so like that definitely like makes it way more like cooler. And the little connection bit thing is pretty cool as well. Like the cable line.
Yeah, with the pinatas.
Yeah, but by far like the truck is my favorite part of this. Aside from, the minifigs. So yeah. Not much to say about this one really. I just overall like it.
Fair enough. Okay. In that case, let's move on to the next one, which is obviously my favorite. It's Reinhardt, or Diva and Reinhardt, because for whatever reason they give Diva first billing. Ugh, not that.
Maybe it's in alphabetical order. Have you not considered this?
I have not considered that. Fair enough. That's reasonable. But, set is so good, except for Diva.
I love how you can fit Diva in. Wait, can you actually fit Diva in there? Does Diva come with Diva?
I mean, the set comes with both. It comes with both Diva and a minifigure Reinhardt.
Does Diva come with a Diva?
No, the set is actually called Mecha and Reinhardt, so.
Mecha and Nineheart.
But yeah, I think I'm reasonably confident. Let me get a closer look at this. No.
Well, I can see the minifigs on the side, so I would hope so.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty cool if you can fit Diva in there.
Yeah, I see her right here. She is inside of the mech on this picture.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, she can fit in there. And, I mean, I think the Diva mech is actually really great.
I think the Diva mech's really cool, actually. I didn't look at... I kind of overlooked this set a little bit. And looked at, like, the situational sets a little bit more. But yeah, I really like this, especially the Diva one.
Yeah, I think the Diva's a good adaptation. I just don't like the color pink. And then, of course, Reinhardt is just fantastic. Ugh, it's so good.
Do you think you'll have a shield attachment?
No, I don't think so.
Aw, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but I don't think they're...
Transparent blue.
They might do that at a later point, I can imagine, but probably not now.
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. Like, he's already, like, so Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. The hammer reminds me of I believe one of our newest sets where he had like the massive hammer, and that was pretty sweet. Love to see
Yeah.
that again. Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with this really. Like, I don't know what the mobility is going to be like for both of them.
I can kind of hazard some guesses based off of the pictures, and it's not going to be out of this world or anything, but it'll be
Yeah, it's this not. Yeah,
it'll be awfully reasonable. So, I think it'll be good. But yeah, all right. In that case, go ahead and move on to the second to last one, and the last play set with minifigures at the very least. This is, of course, Watchpoint Gibraltar. And we've got...
so many memes have come out of this one.
it's This one is fascinating. It's probably not... let me send you a better picture. It's probably one of the least popular ones. Not because it's poorly done.
What is Winston holding?
His Tesla cannon.
What, that little beer-shaped thing?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No.
What is that?
I forgot. I sent you the other picture as well. That's a container of peanut butter.
Okay,
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So is the bottom one the one that's actually the official?
No, they're both official. They're just different.
Oh, they're both okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
But
yeah, because the bottom one definitely I feel like looks better in most ways. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead. Give your thoughts.
My friend would like to say, like, because they knew I was going to be on here, they said this is definitely a bronze match because no Reaper is supposed to be shooting from that far away. And that Winston isn't doing anything down there.
Yeah. No, that's about right. And it's kind of a weird assortment of characters because you not only have obviously you have Farah and Mercy, which is endorsing Pharmacy, which I cannot forgive because I have enough trouble dealing with Farah flying around it without a Mercy attached.
Same. Cannot aim for the life of me, so Farah is a worse nightmare. Pharmacy is apocalyptic.
Yeah. It sucks to deal with. And of course you have Winston, who's there, I suppose, and then Reaper doing his best.
Doing his best.
Yeah, it's a little perplexing. I think obviously the draw to the set is supposed to be the spaceship. It's supposed to be the giant rocket, but I find
the rocket, it looks really nice, but it is a bit in the background though. Like the scaffolding, I think the scaffolding is with the rocket, but for some reason it looks closer to us, or it looks like it's in the way, but I think that's just it holding the rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just like maybe it's like, maybe moving it a little bit forward might bring it more attention, but I think I mean, looking at it, it's not really anything like wrong. It's just like it looks a little bit off center, and there's nothing really that wrong with that.
Yeah.
One thing I have to say, and one thing I point out immediately, I do not like Mercy's wings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Whether they're just normal angel wings, like obviously it's fine because she's wearing a Valkyrie thing, but I expected them to be a little bit differently designed than that instead of just normal angel wings. I do know that like Reaper has like a different. I don't know how they're going to do that. They have like a kind of wraith thing that they have in this set.
Oh,
so I've seen it in the other one.
Yeah, they have given him two types of wings.
That's pretty cool.
Or two types of legs, rather.
Yeah, two types of legs. He can like move up the scaffolding like he's done there. Yeah, I do think the spaceship is. Just having a look at the spaceship now, like I think it's underestimated a little bit because it's in the background. I think if we actually like had a look at it, it would be way more like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, but because there's so much going on in the background, like in the foreground, it's like you kind of lose sight of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the innate fear of Overwatch players when they see pharmacy.
Yeah, that would not surprise me. Like, again, I can deal with a Pharah. I'm usually decent when it comes to fire striking Pharahs out of the sky. But pharmacy, I can't handle it. I can't do it. Not as Reinhardt.
No. And as someone who plays Reaper, or, healer or whatever, like, it's not much I can do either. Can't aim, so I just have to hide from them. But yeah, my face is basically Winston's face in that picture whenever I play comp and there's a pharmacy. Very tired. It's tough in silver.
Oh gosh.
Because I'm not great at the game.
No, we were playing just a few nights ago.
But as a healer, like, yes, I'm serviceable, like, to play, like, with other people, but, like, as DPS, it's, like, hit or miss completely.
Literally.
DPS or tank, it's hit or miss. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
Tough.
But that's why you have a team of people that they can
That's why
do
you
different
play
things.
with people. You can discuss who wants to go as who, and you can, like, swap round the babysitting responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. And I try as Reinhardt. I try to protect the healers as much as I can.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, there's sometimes you just gotta be like, well.
Yeah. Well, did what I could. It's over now.
All it takes is one unfortunate event or one really mean player to, like, ruin it.
Yeah,
so
but
you just gotta take it and be like, well, it's just a game. It's really hard, though, when I say that. And then play it later and go, I hate this game! Something like that.
Yeah, nah, I get what you
Bastion
mean.
one.
Yes, this is the last one. This is Bastion.
Oh,
what do you think about this one?
Ganymede's so cute! Look at it! Look at its big eyes! So cute.
It's delicious.
It's able to transform into a turret.
Yes, okay, so here is, let me show you the other photo. It does a couple of things. Not only does it transform into a turret, but it has a light up brick in the head that you can activate, and it turns his eye red.
Okay, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Because I saw this and was like, this is basically the Omnic Crisis one that they've, like, brought out for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I was like, And then, like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, and it's much larger, and it's awfully detailed, and I mean, it doesn't interest me too much because I don't play Bastion, and so
Same.
It doesn't, even though Bastion works. Like, this just doesn't hit the mark for me.
Bastion does work. Yeah. I would never, obviously, I wouldn't buy it because I'm not a fan of Bastion like you, but it is a very cool set. Like, it's got the glow in the dark eyes.
Yeah.
And you can, just the fact that it can turn into a turret is pretty, like, I can't think of the word, innovative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go with that. It's very inventive. That's probably a better word. Like, being able to figure out how to transform it into a turret.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive on its own. How big is it?
Looking at it, I would argue that it's probably larger than both the D.Va and the Reinhardt. It's definitely a larger set. It's more in the construction range of height.
Yeah, it's more of a model than, like, I don't know, set piece, like set fig.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah,
fine.
that's definitely, if somebody was, like, looking for, I'm not sure, just like kind of a model of Bastion, like, for sure, get something like that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it works out very nicely.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's probably the like, idea wise and, like, abilities it has. It's probably, like, the best one so far.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Omnic Crisis one is the same, but a recolor. or if it's actually like just a model, the Omnic Crisis one. Like it hasn't got the turret reconfiguration or anything.
Oh, they're
I'm
completely
not
different.
Sure. Oh, they're completely different. Okay.
Let me
Yeah.
show you a picture of the Omnic Crisis Bastion. They're the only thing they have in common is that they're Bastion.
Yeah. I
Here.
really like the color scheme of the Omnic Crisis Bastion.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean it's orange. I think it's fine.
Yeah, like all the Omnic Crisis things are like orange and terrifying.
Yeah.
The Orisa one from the Reinhardt show is, oh wow, that is a lot different. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's the Bastion set is way larger and far more detailed than the tiny little Omnic Bastion. I'll go ahead and throw this up on screen.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I do like the color scheme of the Omnic Crisis stuff. But yeah, that Bastion is great.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's
Wow, that was way more sets than I actually originally thought.
yeah, it's a nice hefty amount. It's about 6, and
Yeah, how long do you think they'll do you think this will be a one-off thing, or do you think they'll keep making
oh
sets
gosh,
like this? Or do you I'm not sure if this is a good question at the moment because we don't actually know too much about it.
yeah, it's a bit hard to discern at this point. I think that it will probably get more, but I'm going to temper my expectations and assume this is all we're going to get.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I would like to see more. I kind of want to see like Lego's idea of like each character and what situations they'd put what characters in and what maps. I'm just curious about that.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'd love to see a lot more, except for Junkrat and Roadhog. Those two.
I'd like to see Oasis in like set
Yeah.
form. I know how much you
Yeah.
hate that map.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous
Yeah.
map. The art is
Oasis.
beautiful on that map.
Give me Eichenwald and I will be immensely happy.
Highway chase on Oasis.
Oh gosh. Remake that car hitting action. Oh,
Remake that insta kill car hitting action.
It's the worst. But do you expect that you're gonna get any of these? Any of these Overwatch sets?
I will probably get the Dorado one if I can. It's got all like I said before, I've just got my 3 favorite characters in there. I kind of, not gonna lie, I kind of like the Gibraltar one, but I don't know where I would put it.
Yeah.
I probably won't get the model ones. I'm just not really too interested in the model ones. I like the Gibraltar one and I like the Dorado one, but I'll probably end up getting like Widowmaker and Tracer's one. Oh, that's Hanamura. Why? I have no money.
Yeah, no. Gotta go back to work. Save up for the
You know what?
Lego
Yeah,
ones.
you know what? I will probably go for the Hanamura one and the Dorado one.
That's fair.
Because I have to.
Yeah.
Because I've got to have them all showdown and Hanamura. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, the guy on the phone's just going to be there. He's
Yeah.
going to win.
He's gonna dream about winning.
He's going to get play of the game.
In his dreams.
Yeah. He wakes up still on the floor after being knocked out by that bell.
Wow, guys, what a great game. He looks around, all of his friends are dead. Guys?
How about, as the biggest plot twist in history, Overwatch, all the events of Overwatch didn't actually happen, and it was all a dream from that one guy who got knocked out in Hanamura.
Oh, gosh. See, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled something like that, but I would be immensely disappointed.
I like that one animated fan cartoon where it's making fun of the fact that like reality and kind of like logic doesn't work in the game. Like there's that one thing of McCree where he's just like, I just killed myself, like because he's fighting against himself, and it turns out they're all inside the simulation the Omnics are running while the Omnic crisis is going on. I can imagine them doing something kind of similar to that, like Matrixy.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty weird.
That would be awfully weird.
Yeah, that'd be very confusing.
Yeah. Now, since we've gone over all of these, I know that, and I don't know if this is something you still contest, you have an interesting opinion on the Overwatch sets and the Overwatch merchandise when it comes to the actual theme, given that you're super into the lore, into the story. What is your perspective there and your opinion on these?
Well, like, as a whole,
Yeah.
I think they're alright. Like, again, I had, like, a really negative opinion of them. It wasn't negative, it was just kind of like, I didn't really care that much. But then, like, I kind of, looked into them a little bit more and was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And just, like, I think for me personally, I'll be honest, like, I'm kind of still, like, desperate for lore. So whenever they bring out stuff that's not what I want, like the lore, I get a bit frustrated. I'm just, because I've been waiting for a lore for quite a while now. But putting that aside, I like what they're doing. Like, so far, it's looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
With other merchandise, like, I'm the same with too. Like, I remember when the snowball thing came out and I got slightly annoyed because I was just kind of like, they can bring out a snowball levitating thing, but they won't bring out a comic.
Yeah.
It was just kind of it was a frustration of mine, and I do get, because I care about the story, even though I shouldn't, because it's pretty, like, unstable as a universe.
Mm-hmm.
And the writing is, like, kind of, like, is all over the place in a lot of places. It's just, I just can't help but get passionate about it. So I say, like, pretty, like, passionate things, like, oh, why do they have to bring out all this, like, merchandise when it's just, I just want a comic, like, or a book or something, just something to, like, tide over till the next short, or, like, something, or just any form of just movement in the story, please.
Mm-hmm.
And so that frustration, like, comes out in, like, when I initially see reveals that aren't lore. And when I finally kind of chill out a little bit, I kind of like, you know what, it's it's not all about, like, the story. This is, like, a game which is multiplayer, like, because in reality, if I really cared that much about lore, I would get annoyed all the time, the fact that, well, how comes, like, Soldier and Reaper on the same team, they hate each other. Like, it's kind of like,
you'd only play canonically.
Yeah, I would only play well, you guys are, playing as Talon, so I'm gonna have to play Doomfist, even though we need a healer and a tank,
I'd
guys.
kind of like to do that at some point, just for the heck of it. We all dress up in, like, in the game, we put on the appropriate Overwatch skins, like maybe from the Omnicrisis, so like the blue Reinhardt, blue Tracer, and we just get a team
and everybody plays Bastion.
Oh my gosh. We just get a team of, like, canonical
That'd
Overwatch
be a good game
folk.
type.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I want to see if that team dynamic would work, like Reinhardt, Tracer, Ana, Soldier, Torbjorn.
I think it could work with the original 6, because Ana's a healer, but even though back then, like, canonically, Ana was just a sniper.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Nah, that is fair.
Yeah. In the game, it would work, because Ana's a healer. It had to be a really good Ana, because obviously Reinhardt takes up a lot of health.
He takes so much damage.
Yeah, and Soldier has a little bit of healing, which he could help a little bit with, but yeah, and Reaper obviously kind of self-sustains with his, like, damage.
Yeah.
Torbjorn also would need healing as well.
Yeah, no, that's true. I know, I think
yeah, I
fun.
just kind of, get passionate about it, then I cool down and, like, actually look at it, and I'm like, oh man, this is actually alright. Like, for example, I saw the little snowball thing, I think it's cute. I mean, I'd never buy it myself, because I'm not really a fan of Mei. Like, I like Mei, but I'm not, like, a big fan of Mei. But I can understand, like, someone who is a big fan of Mei would love something like that. It's just a cute little thing, just have, like, somewhere that, like, in your room, or, like, wherever you'd like to put it. It's just cute.
Yeah. No, I see the appeal. Although I agree with you, I would never get it either. Yeah.
It's also way above my budget.
Yeah, it's immensely expensive. So I'll pass. Not a May person anyway, so that's fine.
I'm not a fan of Satan, guys.
Yeah, no, hard pass on that one. But yeah. In that case, Phweffie, would you like to take some questions that people have sent in?
Sure.
And we'll probably send. Okay, excellent. In that case, for anyone listening, go ahead and put any questions you would like to ask and have answered in the comments, the live comments off to the right there. And in the meantime, we do have 2 email questions. And again, I am immensely thankful for anyone that sends in an email question. It keeps it very concise and orderly, so I know where they are. So, the first email is by Everett Whitaker, and he has 3 questions. The first of which is, who is your favorite author?
Who's my favorite
Author.
Oof. I don't really read books too much. Oof. That's difficult. I can give a few authors like that I enjoy.
Go for it.
Like I'm reading at the moment. For the longest time, I've been a massive fan of the movie The Golden Compass, and obviously The Golden Compass is based off a book called The Northern Lights, which I'm a massive fan of. I started reading that, so Philip Pullman is like a good author that I've been reading at the moment. George R. R. Martin, love his world building. I feel like I need to read J.R.R. Tolkien just based on the fact that I enjoy world building. And even though it's a bit of a slow burn and it kind of irritates me a little bit when I'm not into the story because it's so slow.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get into something, I'm like, I just read this forever. So I definitely need to read something like J.R.R. Tolkien. Obviously, Greg Farshtey.
Yeah.
Like, can't not mention Greg Farshtey. Like, his dialogue in the story of 06 and like, you know, his lore development in BIONICLE was obviously just, you know, made BIONICLE what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't read books. It's so bad.
That's all right.
Somebody who supposedly knows a lot about storytelling. I don't read as many books. I am working on it though. I found my Kindle the other day, and again, I'm reading. I'm not necessarily reading books, but I'm reading just more in general. So, for example, I'm reading the Northern Lights series, and I'm also reading a book from my Kindle. I believe, I don't know what it's called. It's kind of similar to Game of Thrones. It's about like people transforming into dragons. It's pretty sweet. Bit brutal. Obviously, I said it's like Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And I also read comic books and graphic novels because obviously I do art, so I need to, if I want to do narrative based art, I kind of want to go into comics. So
yeah,
that's something that you know.
That's fair.
If there's anyone like that people recommend, by the way, like let me know, because like I'm always up for like reading like new authors and things. Obviously, I choose whichever authors like go with what I'm reading with next. So, for example, George R. R. Martin, you should probably read J.R.R. Tolkien if you kind of like that style of world building.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I guess that actually leads into the next question that Whitaker had, which was, have you read The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan? And if so, who's your favorite character?
Oh, I haven't read it. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. I'll Google what that is later though. Hold on. I'll write that down.
Okay, fair enough. I will go ahead and send that to you.
The Wheel of Time.
Here, I'll go ahead and just. There we go. There it is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Awesome.
I don't know where I'd post about my opinions on it. Maybe like I don't know on my social medias or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who would see it, you know? But I would definitely check that out.
Awesome. In that case, Whitaker's final question was, also, I was intrigued by the Lego Overwatch sets, and I find myself loving the character designs, but I also tend to play games with interesting lore. Would either of you recommend I try Overwatch?
Was that interesting lore that you said though?
Let me see. I also tend to play games with interesting lore. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You cut out doing that.
Okay.
I think playing the game, not so much because like yes, the character design is really good, but you're not going to be looking at the characters very often when you're playing. Like, I think the hero gallery is a really good place to look at the characters, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth paying, like, for a whole game to see that. You can find loads of pictures online of like references and things, and there's lots of absolutely stunning fan art of Overwatch characters. So it's up to you. It is a game at the end of the day, like, and I'd like to say that I didn't buy the game until much later on. I actually got into Overwatch way before I bought the game, and got really invested in the lore enough for me to be like, I actually kind of want to start playing the game. And then the TTV folk were playing it, and so that kind of like brought me more to buying the game. So when it went on offer, I went for it. And also my computer couldn't run it for some reason for a little bit. When the beta came out, for some reason my computer just didn't like it. But eventually I bought it. But I don't think, if you're interested in like the lore and the character design, but not necessarily the game, I do think that it's better off that you like has like kind of restrain from buying the game, because the game is quite separate. In fact, it's in its own, in a way, kind of its own pocket dimension a little bit when it comes to lore.
Yeah, that's fair. I, on the other hand, unabashedly recommend you play it. I've had an immensely fun time with it. I think that it is an incredibly...
Oh yeah, like it is a good time.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable, dynamic experience, and obviously, like Phweffie said, it is just a game. But I've had a great time with it. I do recommend it. Okay, so next email from Niels A. Anderson, and he has this to ask. Hi there. Really nice to see Phweffie joining in on the show. Here are some questions.
Thank you.
First, go on a little rant about the character/set you enjoy most out of the Overwatch franchise and what makes you like them.
Character/set from like the Overwatch.
Yes, from the Overwatch franchise.
Like character from the Overwatch franchise or like the set?
Both, basically.
Both.
But both and or either or.
So, don't know.
Alternatively, we there are also more questions. So if you'd like to go ahead and do the other questions, that's okay too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Now, next question is, what would be the best way to integrate a marshmallow character into Overwatch?
I don't know, some like genetically altered marshmallow. Everything seems to be genetically manipulated in some way. You've got a talking hamster. Well, it's not talking hamster. It's like a super intelligent hamster. You've got a super intelligent gorilla. You've got some kind of life wizard, Irish life wizard, and you've got some kind of summoner of light. So, I mean, like, you've got all sorts of weird things. You've got, a dead but not dead person. So, yeah. At this point, you could basically go with anything like that. I don't know. That maybe it's a marshmallow, like, inside a giant robot, and it's, like, got wires inside it like a brain or something. I don't know. It's like Gladys's, like, potato form.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it takes energy from the marshmallow. And that's how it's fueled. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can definitely see.
The marshmallow is the ultimate overpowered DPS character.
Oh my gosh, it'll be the solution to Pharmercy.
Yeah, nerf marshmallow, please.
Alright, the next question is, how do I become half as cool as you are?
I don't know, just... This is gonna sound really cringy. Be yourself!
Oh, gosh.
No one is cooler than you. I don't know. Genuinely, just like try like to just. I'm just gonna sort of turn into more of a like serious thing, but like
no.
I feel like if you just are yourself and you are more relaxed in that's what I always try and do anyway. Like I try and be relaxed about things, obviously, unless something kind of gets me passionate, because I know people enjoy me getting really angry. I will just kind of like just let that loose. But like when I'm talking to people, just like relax and just be nice and just be open to discussions and new conversations and interests. I guess that's kind of the best way to be genuinely liked and maybe even cool.
I will elaborate on that slightly by saying definitely be yourself unless yourself is a serial killer. In that case, consider not being yourself.
Yeah, you know. Aside from that.
Yeah. And then Neil has asked, additionally, and one for LJ, when TTE podcast number 2 rolled around, there was sadly no Phweffie. Please atone for your mishap by making your best voice for Phweffie. Okay. Because, Phweff, I don't know if you remember, but this April Fool's, I ended up making a TTE podcast where I basically parodied every one of the others, or a portion of the others. Like, oh goodness.
Like Meso or Ven.
Yeah, it's like Meso Ven, Purple Var, it's like Var J, Meso J, Envy J, so on and so forth. So, hello everyone. I'm Phweffie, here with the TTV Podcast. Talk about 2006, and we'll also be talking about the Reaper. There, that's the best. I'm sorry, Phweff.
That is absolutely perfect. You even got some Australian or South African in there.
Oh my goodness.
You could hear it.
Neil sends the email with thank you for your time. And as LJ once said, always eat your veggies. I don't remember when I said that, but I would not be surprised because vegetables are delicious.
Genuinely good advice, and vegetables are good, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Exactly.
Thank you for sending in those questions.
Yeah.
I answered them as best as I could.
We do have a few more. We do have one over on Twitter.
Brilliant. Awesome.
At MidBlue27. I hope you guys are having a good day. My question is for both of you. Do you find any similarities in the story, the characters, etc., between Overwatch and BIONICLE?
Yes. I think so. Just as a trope thing, I think, I can't think of any at the top of my head, but I'm sure there are.
I'm going to echo what you're saying. I'm sure there are. There just aren't any instances which pop to my mind. Like there are no comparisons I've drawn. Maybe except for the look of certain characters. Like Reinhardt looks like he'd be pulled from BIONICLE.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, same with Genji.
Yeah, just anyone cyborgy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Essentially.
Yeah. Genji looks like he's got little lime pins.
How's about you never say that ever again? No, kidding.
That needs to exist, guys. Lime pins. Make them real.
No, they
Let's
don't.
Upset
No,
LJ.
don't do that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and ask a few of the questions in the comments, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. Wadon asks, any Overwatch hero concepts do you two have?
I don't know. I was discussing this with my friend at McDonald's the other day, but I honestly can't remember what I was talking about, which does not bode well. I think I was discussing hero abilities. I did talk about how they would be able to integrate Farah's dad into the Overwatch game, and I was like, this is actually quite difficult. Because first of all, we don't know what he actually is. We know he's a public servant, but that could be like a fireman or, I don't know, a bin man.
Yeah.
Jokingly said he could be a bin man, saving the world one bit of trash at a time. But yeah, that could be a pretty interesting character concept, like a firefighter or maybe like a rescue type person or something, or even a type of doctor. How cool would that be? Like, having like both the Pharah parents being support heroes. That'd be pretty interesting. And I can't really think of like anything else. Like, I was saying like about a character that maybe could deal with pharmacy, and I was talking about like, oh, maybe they can kind of like, I don't know, swat Pharah down or something like that, and saying like that's way too powerful. It's like Pharah would be unviable if there was a character that could just jump up and swat them down so easily.
Yeah.
And also an ability that maybe could like chain react with like different characters, kind of like if you've ever played Dota 2. I actually based off this like Lich. He's got this ultimate ability thing where the closer, it's a ball of energy that kind of bounces between all the characters, and the more it bounces between characters, the more damage it does. I feel like that would be quite a cool ult to use, because it would be able to split up the comp of the opposite team, and if they didn't, they would obviously die eventually. So there's so many possibilities, but they're not all obvious, and it's just you just gotta wait for like Blizzard to just give you a hint or an idea. Just the fact that Wrecking Ball exists, like I don't think anyone for a minute thought that the next hero would be a hero that could swing around the point and basically swing ball everyone off the point, which is basically what he's used for. You know, that's one of his main abilities, being able to bop people off using a wrecking ball swing. So
yeah.
I don't know about you, LJ.
Oh no, I don't have any concepts whatsoever.
Any interesting ideas?
No, not at all. I would definitely make Reinhardt the most overpowered character in the entire game if possible, but I only let me play him in that state, and that's it.
Yeah, no. It's like for LJ play.
No, you cut out there for a moment. What was that?
I said for LJ players only.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. The next question is from Justin J. Marler. Phweffie, which ult do you mishear the most?
Which ult?
Mm-hmm.
Is that an old ult or like
ultimate?
Ult?
Which ultimate do you mishear the most?
What's my favorite? You keep cutting out. What did you say?
Oh, that's weird. Goodness gracious, Discord. Which ultimate do you mishear the most?
Mishear.
Yeah.
I think probably Junkrats, because like he has. I'm not. You know. Yeah. I think Junkrats. I think it's Junkrat's Junkenstein skin. It always like confuses me, because it's like get ready for a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't know, it just doesn't sound as aggressive as fire in the hole. So it's just I'll hear it and be like, is that on our team or is that on their team? So just by default, I just run away, because I usually play squishy healers, and you know, if you're a healer, you see that Riptide coming over the horizon, you know, got its eye set on you.
Yeah.
So you just gotta hide. But I don't really mistake ults too often. I do hear a lot of people like that do. Like I play with a lot of people who maybe don't like hear them as much or don't play as much and don't recognize a sound. For example, Reinhardt. When he uses his Fire Strike or his charge, he uses different sound audio effects. So like with the Fire Strike, he'll like make a rah sound.
Yeah.
Like when he's about to charge, you go ha like that and start to go. Unfortunately, someone I was playing with kept getting caught in the charges and was like, how do you know when he's about to charge? I don't know. It's like you have to just be listening. You have to listen to what he's about to do, because like usually you can kind of sense when he's about to charge, because you know it's that kind of like I don't know, there's just that, like, you can see the opportunity arise. It's the same with Earth Shatter, when everybody's all together, and you're just like, oh, something's gonna go wrong, Reinhardt isn't doing anything, he's probably getting ready to ult. And usually he does, and you proceed to die. But you just get that sense, that like feeling of dread, like a hunch, where you're just like, oh no, he's gonna ult soon. I can sense it.
Yeah.
You can sense it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't really mishear them, but I have to be like listening. I can't play Overwatch without headphones because hearing those ults is really important.
Yeah. Justin J. Mahler clarified he was talking more so about mishearing what the ults actually say, such as his examples, Wu Shi Zhao or Gale from Hull.
Gale from Hull. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like a hilarious like moment that me and Envy have had when we're playing the game, and like Brigitte, for example, she's like, I love Team May, like that. Like we make jokes as it sounds like she's saying I love Team May, but she's actually just saying something in Swedish. And yeah, the other two, like Moira, obviously something in Gaelic, but it sounds like she's Gale from Hull. And if you beat a Moira when she's ulting, she's doing that, I'm just like, go back to Hull, Gale, like things like that, just to laugh at during the matches. Obviously, May's one, like I can't pronounce Chinese at all, so I just always go, oh, she's outing.
There's something from, I don't know which attack it is, but I always mishear. Maybe it's an ultimate, maybe it isn't, but May will always go, shoot saliva. And I know that's not how it's...
that's Shin Saliva, like
okay, yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
It does sound like it, you're right.
I always hear, shoot saliva. It's like, oh gosh, is that what the ice is made out of? Oh no.
Ah, gross.
Well, we'll move on to another question. But thank you, Justin J. Mahler. It was epic. All right, I gotta slip that in there. All right, let me see. Oh goodness. Okay, Tributron asks, "Hey Phweffie, what is your favorite film and why?"
Oh, it's so difficult. There's so many good movies.
Civil War,
I'll
right?
give you one. Sure. I'll give you an example that I watched today. I watched Matilda, the old Matilda, directed by Danny DeVito, including starring him. It's probably one of my favorite childhood movies of all time. If you haven't watched Matilda, please watch it. It's so lovely. It's such a lovely film. It's like one of those films you can like relax and sit and watch, and you don't have to pay attention to it. But even if you are, it's still lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Not my favorite movie because I have so many favorite movies. Like for example, like one of my favorite movies is like Dread and like Golden Compass. Blade Runner. The new Blade Runner was really good. Seeing that in cinema, you know, that feeling of when you first go into a cinema for the first time and you feel like you're actually inside the movie. It gave me that feeling that I haven't had in like years and years. So that movie was incredible. A lot of the Marvel movies, Infinity War was absolutely amazing. Like Captain America 2 was absolutely amazing. Just there's a lot of them.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I get you. All right. Let me see here. We do have a few more. There are quite a few questions. Unfortunately, I don't believe we'll be able to get to all of them, but we'll do what we can. I believe you answered this earlier, possibly. Genericon asks, what's been your favorite Overwatch short so far?
Oh, yeah, Reinhardt's Honor and Glory.
Awesome. Perfect. Sakota asks, what are your favorite comics?
What, Overwatch comics or just comics in general?
It was unspecified.
It's another really hard one. I think one that sticks out to me at the moment that I've just read is that I read one of the Scott Pilgrim books. I've watched the movie. I'm one of those people that's probably watched the movie version before the actual original piece of media that it was based off of. I read one of the random ones. I think it was like issue 5 or like book 5, and it was really good. Like the humor is like basically just transferred really well, yeah, it's just as crazy and like lovable as the film was. Also, my art style is based off Brian O'Malley's work a lot, because I take a lot of like, I love his art style a lot. So I was just, if you love something, then it just sticks in your head.
Yeah. Okay,
the
fair enough.
Overwatch comic, it would probably be like either Uprising or Retribution, like one of the lore ones, basically.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's understandable.
Or
Simon.
Masquerade.
Nah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Let me see. Simon Meadows asks opinions on TF2.
Oh, I love it. I've never played the game, but I love the animations that they do for them, like the bread one, and the spy one, where it turns out that Spy's mother is Scout's mother is Spy's favorite fan.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. After watching them, I definitely do see like the way that like Overwatch is kind of like elaborated on that, not just in gameplay, but like kind of like the characters like bouncing off each other and having that chemistry between one another. Yeah, I've only seen the animated things, obviously the memes that have come out of just using the animation, the models.
Yeah,
in
source
the
filmmaker.
Game. Yeah, source filmmaker. That's what it was. I couldn't think of the word. So yeah, I've never played the game, but I've seen all like the little character introductions and stuff with like characters like Pyro and Heavy and Soldier and that. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, next question is from Neri, who asks, would you like a playset, like a Lucio Ball playset, or some event set, or do you think it would be dated too fast for LEGO to sell?
I don't know, actually. Like, I don't know. I think it might be to do with like the amount of minifigs. I'm not sure. Like, I think Retribution or like Uprising could work as a set. Maybe not as much with Uprising because King's Row already existed beforehand. But having like Rialto or something, like I could see that being like a set. There is enough like characters for the set. There's 4 of them, and obviously you can have like, I don't know, like a one-off like Talon Soldier or something. I can imagine, like, because it's more of a linear one. Uprising is kind of the same, but the map is a bit difficult to translate and make it different than just King's Row, and also the amount of enemies as well. They could probably do the same with Uprising, to be fair. Just because they're robots doesn't mean that, like, you have to have them. So
that's fair.
Yeah. For the other events like Junkenstein, I don't know about Junkenstein because like it's a horde related game, like even more so than the other events. You kind of have to sit and defend a point, which means that in my head, for some reason, like that would mean that there'd have to be way more enemy sets than for some reason, just in my head.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But see, doing like the it's actually kind of the same with Eichenwalds as well, because the bridge for Eichenwald, even though they've changed it in Junkenstein to make it like not a bridge, they've made it, well, they still make it a bridge, but it's with water instead of like a fall down the map.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it's too similar to Eichenwald. I don't think they would do that. I'm not sure.
I get you. Fair enough. Okay, we'll go with 2 more questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Let me see here. Oh, well, this one's for me. Sylvester Brolin asks, question for LJ. Will you make a new video on the Bionicle Masks of Power fan game? And Phweffie, what is your favorite Bionicle year, set-wise?
Oof. probably go with either. I really like the Anika, but the Paraka are, pretty samey. I'd say probably one of the later years, like the Glatorian. As much as I didn't like the years, like, the lore and the story in that, the sets, like the upgrade to, I think it's personally an upgrade, like the little hand pieces actually having fingers on them and things like that. Like just those little things that I like them way more. Also I really liked O8's one, with, like, especially like the swamp like villains. They were really cool. Even with the Toa, actually, even though a lot of people think that like kind of they look insanely different, and I completely agree with you, but I do like the design of like the masks and stuff. They look really odd, but they're cool.
Yeah, that's fair. To answer the question for me, I will. I mean, that's really about it. I did record a video with the guy who started the project, Joe Cool, and it just ended up being in development heck this entire time, and now I fear it's outdated, so I want to reach out to him again and discuss it with him to see if he thinks it's still viable, whether or not we should go through with it, or just re-record it, because I want to have him on the show, and I also want to do another video on the game, because I think it's a wonderful project, and they've done great work, and I know they're still doing fantastic work, especially with the modeling process. So I absolutely want to do another video. I will do another video. It's simply just been a matter of actually getting around to completing it. So that's been the only problem. So, all right. In that case, we'll go ahead and make this the last question. This is from Coco, who asks,
Okay.
for someone trying to get into the Overwatch lore, where would you recommend me going? I have watched the shorts, and I'm interested in finding out more.
Okay, I would definitely go for the comics next, because they're like the next best thing to the shorts. If you've already read the comics, I would say watch some YouTube videos about it. Like there's a handful of YouTube videos from different creators like Hammy, Unit Launch, I think one called like TNG or something, that kind of go over the lore a little bit. I think there's even a timeline a video, or at least more than one timeline video of like Overwatch, of them talking about like when they're kind of estimating what happened when, and because the lore is so like loosely tied right now, like, and it will be for a long time, if not forever. They kind of like help you get an idea of where like things might be, so you can kind of predict when certain changes and things happened. Definitely YouTube, like there's a lot of lore experts out there, like and even some podcasts. Like I've found a few podcasts of people discussing it. I think there's like one where it's like they do a lot of World of Warcraft ones, but they also they do a few Overwatch ones where they covered like the Retribution event and things like that, and discussed like the Moira theory, for example, and stuff like that. You just, on the internet, honestly, there's a lot of I wouldn't say all internet things, because there's a lot of headcanon stuff that people have, but just like people like Hammy and just examples like that are really good like channels to look at for like solid lore, because they take a lot of data mining from the game and kind of use it as evidence for certain lore.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, I think we'll go ahead and call it quits there. Thank you to everyone who sent a question in. Always greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much, guys.
And that being said, Phweffie, I think we're pretty much all done. Is there anything you'd like to impart upon people before we go ahead and wrap up?
Oh, well, just, thanks for, sharing this live stream with us. Like, thank you for all your questions and listening in. I hope everyone has a good day, and I hope BlizzCon has some alright stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, and finally, Phweffie, where would you like people to follow you on social media?
I might actually consider making an Instagram that's separate from my already existing Instagram, because I have it was originally a personal one, but I might set up an Instagram which is gonna have all my art on, and then on my Twitter you can follow me at, I think it is literally at Phweffie. If you don't know how to spell it, I'm so sorry. I didn't consider that when I made the name, but I couldn't be Viper anymore because it was hard telling people that didn't know me that my name was Viper on the internet. So yeah, it's literally Phweffie, and my name will be in the title of the YouTube video. It's literally just that, and I post tweets sometimes and I share memes. So yeah, that's the main one I'd consider following.
Okay. Fantastic. In that case, that will be in the description below. So make sure to go ahead and check that out. And yeah, it's been fun, Phweff. Hopefully you've had a good time over the last couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, nervous as heck, but I've had a brilliant time.
I think it worked out. And hey, you're always welcome back if there's anything you ever want to discuss, any new Overwatch stuff that you just want to gush about. So certainly
thank
back.
You.
Welcome back.
Well,
anytime.
if I ever get really passionate, just say, Phweffie, we can always broadcast this. And I'm like, do it. Go ahead. Make a fool out of myself on the internet. Let's do it.
Well, that sounds good to me then. I think that's a good place to leave it.
All right.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you all for listening in to the Eljay Johnsen Show this week. Just as a reminder, this show airs every nuts. Oh, man, I'm usually really good about this nowadays, but
Oof.
had a little bit of a hiccup there, but I digress. Eljay Johnsen Show airs every single weekend, every Saturday at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, unless specified otherwise, over on Twitter at the Eljay Johnsen, where we have updates and guest announcements every single Tuesday. And if you have any questions over the week, make sure you head on over to my email, ljjohnsen@gmail.com. Messed it up again. Either way, remember,
that's man, you got this.
It's JOHNSEN. That's everything. We will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day.
Have a good day, guys. See ya.